Hello everybody! My name is RedBlockss and welcome back to another video. So today we're doing something completely different than what we usually do. I know I've been saying that for pretty much every single video that we ever do, but believe me, today we're doing something completely different just because, well, technically we're not even playing Minecraft today. So as you guys have seen from the title, the thumbnail, and what you're seeing in front of your screens, today we're going to be breaking down and analyzing the Minecraft Speedrunner vs 500 finale uploaded by the one, the only, the legend, Dream himself. Now the reason why I was interested in doing this video is because I was curious to see how this would work out for a video, and most importantly, if you guys have seen any of my videos, you know that I'm more of a survival tips kind of guy. I usually make videos and give you guys tips how to make your game more efficient when it comes to Minecraft survival, and I feel like the best person to watch for that cause is Dream, because the dude plays near perfect when it comes to Minecraft survival. So today, as I've just said, we're going to be analyzing and breaking down his latest manhunt, and I want to make this crystal clear before we jump into the video. This is not going to be a reaction video. These are not going to be my initial reactions to these plays. This is going to be a pure expert analysis. Well, that kind of feels weird to say because I'm not necessarily smart, but when it comes to Minecraft survival, I know my things, you know? So what we are going to be doing when it comes to the process of these is, first of all, we're going to be going to all of the big brain plays, the high IQ plays, whatever you want to call them, of Dream, and then I'm going to be laying out the situation in which he was, what he did, what he could have done, and basically how he does it, and basically give you guys a complete analysis as to what he does. I feel like this is gonna be very fun. And again, one last time before we jump into this video, this is not my video. I don't think I can make that any more clear, and I don't really think it needs to be clear, but I just wanted to make that sure just before we jump into that video. This video was Dream's video. It is his property. So if you guys haven't watched that video, make sure you do that right now before you watch my video, and there will be a link on screen right now. Make sure you do that if you guys haven't watched this video already, and I would also recommend you watch the extra scenes video before you watch mine, just because in the extra scenes video you see Dreams and all the other hunters' reaction to the manhunt themselves, which they just played, and they talk about the immediate things that come to your mind after playing this intense game. So with all that being said, let's jump into the Green Man's phenomenal plays of the Minecraft Speedrunner vs 500 finale, and let's break some stuff down. Let's go. Alrighty guys, coming in at our first play, we have ourselves the infamous leaf dive. Now, Dream and Sapnap, both of them have explained this quite well in the extra scene, so go ahead and make sure you watch that. So I'm not going to take too much time explaining this one. So as you can see, Dream is up on this leaf tower. So let's set you guys the situation. Both Dream and the hunters have been chasing each other for so long that all of their hunger haunches have drained down. So that made for quite a funny chase scene, but after that, Dream made some shears, got some leaves, and towered up. After that, as you can see over here, he just bridged out with some leaves, and meanwhile the hunters see that he's bridging out, and they're like, oh crap, he's gonna jump down into some water and then run. So as you can see over here, they actually block off a lot of that water, but Dreams is this one bit of water, and I don't know how much you can see that, but Sapnap is also standing there, and Sapnap has placed down a sapling, and he has bone meal in his hands. So I have also again muted the sound so that it's not very annoying. But as you can see, Dream moves around, jumps down, Sapnap both builds the sapling, it grows, Dream switches over to shears, and he's so lucky that there's only this one block of leaf. If there were multiple, this would have been a done manhunt. But I mean, I guess that one block of leaf absolutely saved him, So he switches over to shears, breaks those shears, and jumps down into the water. Insane play. Let's move on to our next one. Alrighty guys, moving on to our second play of the day, we have ourselves what I'm gonna call the first team wipe. So if you guys haven't watched the original, let me set you guys the situation. So they're in the massive 1.18 snapshot caves, and in the caves, the hunters got Dream actually quite low, so he had to dig down into a small cave, and the hunters are basically on their tail. They're coming down, hitting Dream a bit, and Dream's running away. Now the reason why I've came down this low is just because I'm gonna show you guys just a small little thing. Dream breaks a few blocks, right? Keep an eye on his pickaxe, right? So he goes a bit up, and I don't know how much you guys saw that, but Dream's pickaxe just broke. Now, this is a thing that got completely overshadowed when they did the extra scenes, when other people that I've seen watch this video, and I kind of wanted to point that out just because I'm gonna let the video play just for a little bit. Of course, again, videos pause. So he comes out, I don't know, of course he can't actually tell just because he's in, the same position, but I would hope that he actually uncrouches, or even if he doesn't, he got like saved by George right here, because of course he doesn't have his pickaxe, so breaking deep slate is gonna take a long time, and he can't even place down his crafting table just because he was in a 2x1 hole, so like there's literally no other space than him, so he got like very saved. And I'm not saying that that's complete luck, but it mostly is. So George breaking that block was a complete mistake, and he paid for it, because a few minutes ago Dream got his diamond sword and he swipes at George so much that he actually ends up killing him. And after he also gets broken out by, I'm pretty sure, Ant Frost just in a few seconds. Let's fast forward to that. Oh god, we fast forward too much. As you can see, Sapnap breaks him out, and he jumps out, kills Ant Frost, and he first of all decides to kill Sapnap's dog for some reason, which I would also do, so I'm not gonna judge him too much. But yeah, that was the play. I mean, of course, after coming out, 2v1 for Dean is like a cakewalk, so I don't really need to explain all that much for that. But I thought that the pickaxe breaking and him getting so lucky with George breaking him out was quite interesting. Moving on to our next play. And for our next play, we have ourselves the pretty well-known Moss Wipe. So, again, for the situation, Dream actually, after the final team wipe that you guys just saw, he bought himself a lot of time, and these being the 1.18 snapshot Ks, these were absolutely massive, and just seeing his hotbar, he has way too many diamonds, okay? So what he does is, after grabbing some moss from the shipwreck that he found above, he got that moss, came down, and set down his trap. So anyway, in his inventory, you can see he has bone meal and a diamond hoe. And I'm gonna now just let the clip play out. So he's running down, he's being chased by the hunters, he comes down, goes into his little corner, and right there, you can see that he switches over to his bone meal. Bone meal's the boss, and here is the Minecraft mechanic for this. Moss overtakes any other blocks that is in its area, apart from bedrock. Bedrock is the only block that moss can't grow onto, but apart from that, basically any other block is fair game. So Dream takes advantage of that, grows moss, and as you can just see, he is going to switch over to his diamond hoe, breaks all this moss, and all of them fall in, apart from, well, I guess George. But Bad Boy Halo, as you guys are just gonna see, he's gonna swim up and he's just gonna live barely. But yeah, that's basically a team wipe. So a very clever play from Dream. Even though I knew like all of the Minecraft mechanics, it's like really hard to come up with these things on the fly when you're being hunted down by 5 people. So I really thought that was quite a thing. Anyways, moving on to our next play. Alright, so after that moss wipe, we actually take quite a bit of time in between off. Now, of course, just seeing by, his inventory and his hotbar, yeah, things were quite intense, but here's the thing, none of those were necessarily placed, so I couldn't really keep them in. So anyways, moving on to our next play, we have ourselves this play right here, where as you can see, he's already down to half a heart. Now, the reason why that is just because he's been chased down by Sapnap for quite a while now. He's just been running from Sapnap, and finally he decided to fight back with him. And even though he has a diamond axe, a diamond chest plate, a diamond boots, and Sapnap basically has all iron, he, for some reason, absolutely chose that fight and comes down to half a heart. Now, Dream being Dream, he's like an escape artist, so you know he managed to make himself some room. But Sapnap is just on his tail, which you can't really see right now. But as soon as I unpause it, you will be able to see. So I'm just gonna let this play, just because this is not quite a play, if I'm being honest. But I mean, this is like, I just can't not have this in the video. So I'm just gonna rewind just a little bit so that we can see what he actually does. So as you can see, he places down his first oak block and he starts doing this speed bridge, which I'll be honest, I would never ever do this in his situation, just because I'm too scared. But of course Dream isn't. So he's speed bridging up, and Sapnap is just on his tail, and after he reaches a certain point, he jumps down, places a board, and rides that board. Extremely risky, but I mean, it is Dream, so I mean, nothing's risky for him. I just thought that I would mention this. Anyways, moving on to our next play, which, if I remember perfectly, is quite a clever one. So let's go. Okay, so moving on to our next big play. So I feel like this picture can basically explain all of it, but let me give you guys the situation as well as to what he was going through. So Dream makes his way back around the portal, and the hunters are actually quite smart with this, just because they had Bad and Sapnap guard the portal while Awesome, and Frost and George were hunting Dream and keeping him basically outside. So as you can see from Dream's inventory, he has an absolute abomination amount of lava buckets in his inventory. So what he does, and what I feel like is very clever, is of course he's leaving the Nether, so of course he has fire resistant potions left over from trading with piglins. So what he does is grabs an absolute butt ton of lava buckets and basically floods their portal. I mean, it's like a really classic play, but I feel like, I mean, why wouldn't you do this, right? So as you can see, I'm just gonna let this play because this is not quite that long of a play, and I feel like there's something that I want to mention after this play is done. So as you can see, he already has fire resistance, so he jumps down. Of course, nobody can really follow him because nobody really has fire resistance, because you know, none of them really traded all that much. He goes through and also places lava there because, I mean, why wouldn't you? After coming through though, of course he grabs more lava, just because as you can see, this is his second part of the play. He lavas their portal on the overwide side as well. Now this is going to be the one and final time that I say this, that Dream kind of didn't play as well as you would expect him to. Now there's three things that he could have that could have affected his results here. As you can see, the hunter's bed and their supply chest is right here, but I'm going to be spoiling this right now. He decides to not go after either of them. And now again, the three possibilities that this could be is, number one, he did it for the sake of content and to keep things interesting. You know, if he broke those, it would basically just end up in an instant win. Now I'm leaning towards that being like the actual answer, but I mean, you don't know. Second thing that could happen is, and I feel like this is like the most unlikely ever, but Dream actually didn't see those things, which again, I'm saying probably unlikely, but you just have to put out the possibilities there. And third thing, which I feel like there's a good percentage that it could be, is he was too focused on doing what he was doing, and I feel like that is going to be showing in our next play that we are just going to jump into. But I feel like that also could have been it, just because he needed a lot of time to set his next play up. So that also could have been it. Let me know down in the comment section what you really think why Dream didn't break this bed for. But anyways, let's move on to one of those possibilities in our next play. Alright, so moving on to our next play, I feel like, again, this picture basically explains every single bit of it, but we have ourselves the Ender Pearl Stasis Chamber play. So, if you guys don't know what an Ender Pearl Stasis Chamber is, I'll explain that before we explain the situation that Dream was in. So, an Ender Pearl Stasis Chamber is basically a bubble column that you throw an Ender Pearl in. Now, after 1.16.1, I believe, an Ender Pearl does not teleport you until it hits the position. So basically that means that if an Ender Pearl is bouncing up and down in a bubble column, technically it has still not landed, and it is not going to be teleporting you. And now you can actually use that mechanic to your advantage. That is what usual players do. So usually you have yourself something like a trapdoor, which can be manually flipped to hit that ender pearl to teleport you instantly, which is known again as the ender pearl stasis chamber play. Now usually when it comes to usual usage, you would have like a person switch this thing, but of course a trapdoor being a redstone component, it can also be triggered with redstone, and that is what this daylight sensor here is doing. So this daylight sensor is set to day mode, so that means that whenever it detects it's daytime, it is going to be turning that trapdoor on. That's so you can see right here. So that means as long as it is daytime, this trapdoor is not going to shut. And as soon as it shuts, which is going to be again nighttime, Dream's going to be immediately teleported to here. Now, before I tell you guys what he's gonna do, let me backtrack a bit and tell you guys what the situation was. So the situation is pretty usual. As you guys just saw from the last play, he basically just starts locating the stronghold. He digs down and he just sets this up. It's actually not that much. So what is planned now is he's going to tower up, go back to the hunters, and lure them as far away as possible from the stronghold, so that when he magically poofs into air, he teleports all the way back to the stronghold, and the hunters are confused, and they have a long way to get back. So that is Dream's play right here, and I have to say it worked to absolute perfection. Anyways, let's move on to our final play of this amazing manhunt. Let's go. Alrighty, and for our final play, we have ourselves the Ender Dragon cheese. It doesn't really need a fancier name than that, and yes, I will mention this, I do have myself currently a sore throat. That's because I'm recording this a bit later than the original video, and no, just before you assume, it is not the thing that you're assuming. Anyways, going back to our play, I actually didn't know anything about this play up until Dream did this in this manhunt, and actually they explained this picture perfect in the extra scenes, so I won't take too much time explaining this, just because I don't really know much about it myself, and they explain it pretty well in the extra scenes, so go ahead and make sure you watch that. Now before we get into the explanation, let me just give you guys the simple situation. So after the ender pearl stasis chamber play, Dream got into the end a lot faster than the hunters expected them to. Now Awesome Dude and Frost were actually trading with piglins in the Nether, so they had themselves quite a bit of ender pearls, so they managed to zip through the stronghold like about in 1.5 minutes, which made Dream's ender pearl stasis chamber play basically not as effective as it could be. So Dream basically after that got into this play. Now let's go into this cheese. So as you can see over here, Dream towered up using all of this dirt, where he's so far up that he can't even see the ground down below. Now using this dirt basically as a tower, and this water and this obsidian, basically this tricks the Ender Dragon's AI to where it wants to perch at the highest place. So that means that it's not for perching at its fountain, where you actually can't hit the dragon with any projectiles. Now since the dragon isn't perching at the fountain, you can hit it with arrows and basically shoot it to death. And since there is some water over here, the dragon is actually kind of messed up here, so it really can't fly away. Now actually, this is quite funny if you watch the video itself, but Awesome Dude actually literally knew what was going on as soon as he entered the end, and he was screaming like, "Don't let the dragon perch!" And it was quite chaotic. I definitely would recommend watching this yourself in the video, but they tried their best as they could, and as you can see over here, Dream is at half a heart. That's because they used Dream's water right here to tower up, and after that they Sapnap actually got Dream down to half a heart, but unfortunately just after doing that he fell down. So if he was probably up there for another hit, Dream would have died. And even though Dream had all of this food in his inventory, he was pretty certain that after the dragon started perching, they actually can't get up here because the dragon would just knock them out. So yeah, the dragon after that, even though they tried their best to come up, the dragon knocked them out of the water and Dream chewed it to death. So yeah guys, that's gonna do it for today's analysis, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like button, and if you guys want to stick around for more videos, and you know what, before I end this video, Minecraft Live is happening on October 16th, 12 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to watch it live, and of course, as you guys know, I will be covering that the next day. Now, the reason why it's the next day is because Minecraft Live happens at a weird time of the day where even if I want to do the whole video in a day, it takes too much time, and yeah, yada yada yada. It's going to be uploaded on the 17th. So make sure you watch the event. Again, October 16th, 12 p.m. Eastern. It actually should be less than 12 hours away from when you're watching this video. So make sure you keep an eye on your timer. But anyways guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like button. And if you guys want to stick around for more videos of analysis of Dreams Manhunts, because of course they only happen about once a month or once per 2 months. So let me know in the comment section if you guys want to see them. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.